Some days, flounder bite like crazy, and other days, they act like they're on vacation under the sand. On those slow days, it feels like they're testing everyone's patience. This video covers the best fishing lures for flounder. Each pick works better in certain spots or conditions, so it really helps to stick around for the full video to figure out which one matches what you like to do. All the links sit in the description. If you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to tap like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you catch new uploads. And if anything isn't clear, drop a comment and I'll help out. Let's move into the reviews. Number 5. Clouser Minnow Fly Fishing Flies. Number 5 brings in something a little different from the usual soft plastics. This one leans more into that classic bucktail style, and it's kind of fun watching how much life the hair gives off in the water. It has that light, fluttery look that flounder tend to key in on, especially if you're drifting or moving slow. You get a pack of 10, and each one runs a bit over 3.5 inches, tied with natural bucktail and some crystal flash mixed in. The flash catches light in a pretty eye-grabbing way, almost like a little signal going off under the surface. The head has those 3D eyes and enough weight to help it drop fast, which makes it handy for spots with current or deeper pockets. The hook is a big 3/0 with a black nickel coating. Folks often point out that it's sharp right out of the pack, and that's something flounder fishing really benefits from, since they tend to pin stuff down before committing. The color lineup gives you a couple of simple two-tone patterns like pink and white or yellow and green, which work in both clear and murky water. One thing worth keeping in mind is that saltwater can be rough on the hook material. A few people mentioned rust showing up faster than they hoped, so giving it a rinse helps a lot. Some anglers even mark them up with permanent markers to match local bait, which is a fun touch. With setups like Skinner rigs or as a teaser above a main bait, this thing fits right in. Number 4. UMT Pearl White Fluke Ball Bucktail Jig. Next up, we've got something that leans heavier and feels built for spots with strong current or deeper pockets. This one sits at 3 ounces, so dropping it down and keeping contact with the bottom is pretty simple, which is a big deal for flounder since they tend to wait right at the edge of the sand. The head has those 3D eyes that stand out, and there's a strip of mylar worked into it that throws quick flashes each time it moves. It's kind of like waving a little flag that says, "Hey, something tasty over here." The hook is a big 6/0 mustad with a long shank, and that shape really helps it get past short grabs. There's even a ribbed holder to keep soft plastics from sliding down after a couple of taps. The pearl white color gives it a really clean look underwater, and that shade is known for grabbing attention in both clear and stained water. Another plus is that it's a single piece of metal, so dropping it on rough bottom isn't as risky as softer lures that can snag or tear. If there's anything to keep in mind, it's the weight. 3 ounces can feel a bit much in shallow spots with calm water, but in deeper channels or on drift days, it fits perfectly. With flounder as the main target and other fish like black sea bass or stripers in the mix, this jig covers plenty of ground. Number 3. Southern Salt Hoodwink. This one takes a different approach from the heavier jigs. It's a soft plastic that runs just under 5 inches, and the whole idea behind it is smooth tracking without that weird spinning that some plastics get when they're pulled too fast. There's a little rudder molded into the front that keeps it moving straight, and the tail has a weighted ball that gives it a nice up and down swim when you twitch it. It comes in a 5-pack, and the plastic feels flexible enough to look real, but still holds together better than some super soft baits. There are slits on the top and bottom, so you can rig it weedless or go with an exposed hook, and it's shaped for screw-lock jig heads in that 1/8 to 1/4 ounce range. That part is nice, since screw locks usually keep things from sliding down after a strike. The color called ultraviolet is the one you see most often, and it stands out with a bright look that works for flounder, trout, reds, and even bass if you're hopping between spots. There are a bunch of other colors too, which gives you room to match bait fish or just try something loud. Some folks mention the plastic can tear after a few bites, which isn't shocking with softer baits, but it's still something to keep in mind. Even with that, the swimming action and the way it tracks straight make it a strong pick for inshore trips. Number 2. Berkeley Gulp Saltwater Shrimp. Sliding into the number 2 spot, this one takes things in a very different direction from the last bait. Instead of relying on heavy weight or a built-in rudder, this shrimp-style lure leans on scent and texture to get attention. It's 3 inches long and comes in a pack of 6, and the color called key lime chrome gives it a bright, almost glowing look that stands out, especially in moving water. What makes this style interesting is how the material releases scent as it moves. Some folks say it pulls fish in from farther away, which makes sense if you're covering water or dealing with slow bites. The shape and feel match shrimp pretty closely, so you can rig it in a bunch of ways, on a jig head, under a popping cork, or just slow rolling it along the bottom. It's flexible enough to swim naturally, but still holds together better than live bait, and you don't have to mess with keeping anything alive. There are a few different colors and a couple of size options, so you can play around and see what works best where you fish. One thing to remember is that scented baits can dry out if you leave them open, so keeping the bag sealed makes a big difference. For flounder, redfish, and even snapper, this style keeps things simple and effective. Number 1. Berkeley Gulp Alive Swimming Mullet. Taking the top spot, this pick is all about scent, movement, and just giving flounder something they can't seem to ignore. It's a 4-inch mullet-style bait stored in a half-pint tub filled with attractant, and that liquid is a big part of why it gets so much attention. The bait soaks it up and holds more of it than the standard versions, which means every twitch sends a little trail out into the water. The tail has a wide, sweeping kick that moves even with light taps, and the body shape gives it a steady, natural track through the water. The pink color might look loud at first, but flounder tend to respond well to bold colors, especially on days when visibility isn't great. You usually get around a dozen pieces in the tub, so you have some backup in case something bites the tail off. And yes, that happens a lot with this bait, since fish love grabbing the back end first. Rigging it on a jig head is the go-to setup, since bouncing it along the bottom lines up perfectly with how flounder feed. But it works under a popping cork or even burned through the water for stripers or bluefish. One thing I think is clever is that you can stick the bait back into the tub to recharge it, so nothing really goes to waste. If you're after flounder, this one has a long track record of pulling them in. That brings us to the end of the video. There's plenty of great stuff out there for flounder, and it all comes down to your style and the kind of water you're fishing. If any of them grabbed your attention, the links are sitting in the description waiting for you. Feel free to tap like, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss future videos. And if you've got any questions, drop a comment. You can check out the other videos on the channel too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.